Okay, we'll go ahead and start. Good afternoon, O'Farrell families. Thank you, parents, for attending today. My name is Susan Katita. I'm the interim superintendent. I would first like to say a big thank you to Assemblywoman Dr. Shirley Weber and her staff for hosting this event today, and thank you for inviting us to be able to participate. O'Farrell has been working tirelessly to get a robust distance learning program in place, ready to begin this Wednesday, August 19th. We have our very hardworking principals from each school here today who will present what our program will look like. And it will be really important for parents that if you have any questions during this presentation, there is a chat button down at the bottom, and you can go ahead and start entering your questions into the chat feature. At the very end of our presentation, we then will have time for Q&A and be able to answer those questions that you've entered. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Jill Anderson, our middle school principal, where she will begin the presentation.
Thank you, Susan. Good morning. I guess we're at good afternoon now, everyone. We just passed the 12 o'clock hour. So good afternoon. My name is Jill Anderson. I am the middle school principal. And before I start this presentation here, Anne and Brian, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Absolutely. My name is Ann Matthews, and I am the principal of the O'Farrell Elementary School, K-5.
My name is Brian Rainey. I am the high school principal.
So I'm going to go over just some basic information here that is applicable to all three of our schools. We'll have a chance for each of us to share a little bit about what our week will look like in the elementary, the middle, and the high school. And then, like Susan said, we'll have a chance to get to some of your questions that are in the chat. Dr. Matthews is going to be monitoring the chat right now, and if there's something that's a quick, easy answer, she can answer that in the chat. And if not, we'll be able to answer that for you after the presentation. So the most important thing is that we are almost at our first day of school. Our first day of school is this upcoming Wednesday, August 19th. And so we have our teachers ready. You have probably been hearing from your teachers with information starting to get to you about how to get your child logged in. That's a little bit different in each school, and we'll address that. But Wednesday the 19th is our first day of school. The one new thing that we have added this year, one of the things that we heard very loudly from numerous parents in our survey in the spring was that there was lots of places where they had to log in, and it was hard to keep track of that. And so we have purchased a new learning management system. It's called an LMS for short, called Schoology. And this is one place. This is going to make it really streamlined, easy for your child, easy for you. Your child will go to Schoology, they use their O'Farrell email and password, and they get access to anything they are being assigned. So it's all going to occur within that one platform. So whether they're using Imagine Learning for math, or Edgenuity for their science curriculum, or Smart Music with Mrs. Logan or Miss Sanderlin for music, all of that is going to exist within Schoology so that you and your child aren't having to keep track of numerous different passwords. And again, that information will be coming to you from each individual school, but we are all going through Schoology to help streamline that process. And then what our daily schedule looks like, it differs by each school, but the things that are common are the things that we have been asked by the California Department of Education to provide. One of those things is daily live instruction. So every day your child will be interacting with their teacher through a live classroom setting through Schoology, and independent work. And that the way that is scheduled looks a little bit different. So why don't we start with elementary? Anne, do you want to start off and walk us through the elementary week, and then I can do middle and Brian will do high school?
Absolutely. So as we know, students are going to be assigned asynchronous, independent work daily, but there will be times throughout the day that they are interfacing with their teacher live via video chat as well. So our first live interaction is going to start at 8:30 every morning. So we ask students to log in at 8:30 to their Schoology account, and that's where they're going to have their first instruction meeting face-to-face with their teacher. Their teacher is going to go over their assignments for the day, what their work is, answer questions. That's where they're going to get that community engagement, where they're really going to make sure that the students have that peer interaction and feel comfortable. And then throughout the day, teachers are going to be doing coaching sessions in small groups. We know that young learners need so much more attention than perhaps older learners. And so instead of whole group instruction, students are going to be interacting with their teacher live in small group learning pods throughout the day. So in short, 8:30 is when they log in first to their whole group session with their teacher to get their instructions for the day, and then they'll be coached in small group learning sessions later on.
Thank you, Anne. And for the middle school, like I said, very similar in that there are live classes every day. On Mondays, the only live class a student will have is their home base with their home base teacher, and that's kind of our chance to check in at the beginning of the week. Everyone's going to work on their schedules, do some check-in with all of their peers in their home base, and then get themselves set up for the whole school week. On Tuesday through Friday, Tuesday and Thursday, they will attend 2 of their classes and then either their PE or elective class. And on Wednesday and Friday, they'll attend the other 2 core classes. And then if they were in PE the day before, elective or vice versa. So it's very similar to what our schedule looks like during the school, the normal traditional school year. But those classes, they will have live instruction for each of their classes every other day. And then they'll work independently on the other 2 schedules, or on their other 2 classes, pardon me. The schedule is on our website, and parents, I have emailed that to you. I don't want to go over times because there's lots of different start times for each of the class periods by content. The most important time that you need to know is that 10 o'clock on Wednesday is when your child will log in for the first time and join their home-based teacher in their first Schoology conference. And I shared that information with you by email yesterday, and it's on our website. If you need it, let me know or put it in the chat, and we can make sure that we have your accurate email address. But the most important time for you to know right now is that on Wednesday the 19th, your child is going to log into that first Schoology conference at 10 o'clock. And then we will go from there to make sure that everyone understands our daily schedule. High school?
Thank you. Yes, for high school, we will have live instruction every day. And so students, just like middle school, will come to home base on Mondays. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they'll have their full set of classes. And so they'll follow their regular schedule, first period, second period, third period after home base on A days, and then they'll do their B day classes. So Tuesday's an A day, Wednesday's a B day, Thursday's an A day, Friday's a B day. And so they'll be following their schedule. For us, because of credits, every class is the same. We're providing live instruction for all of those classes. So whether it's math or English or photography or band or whatever it might be, they're going to have live instruction. So they will follow that schedule for the week. And there's office hours in the morning, office hours in the afternoon. The one difference is if you have 0 period, if you have a class that meets then that would be at 9. Everyone else will start at 10. One thing we know about high school students is during the shutdown is that they woke up late and worked late. And so we're trying to meet them part way in that and not fight it completely. So we're starting at 9, 0 period, 10 o'clock for other classes. And again, we've emailed that out to parents, to students. It's on the website as well.
Thank you, Mr. Rainey. The other important thing is that we want to make sure that you have what you need at home for your child to be successful. So if you need a Chromebook, if you need headphones, we've been doing lots of additional checkout times within each school, but our IT team is there every Monday from 8:30 to 10:30. They are in room 101, which is on the front of campus. So if you just pull into the front parking lot, you'll see the door open, but they are there every Monday. If you need a Chromebook, maybe you did not have one at home, you have your own computer and you decided, you know what, I need to get my child their own Chromebook to use. We each need a separate device and headphones so that what they're doing is quiet and they're not distracted around them. But they will be there every Monday. If something happens with the Chromebook and you need to swap it out, we're there every week. And if you need internet, email email your school principal. So for elementary, Ann Matthews, for middle school, me, and for high school, Brian Rainey. We have some hotspots that we can provide. We can also get you in contact with Cox and with AT&T, as Dr. Weber was just sharing in the main session with us. So we can definitely help you with that internet issue if that is a challenge for you, to make sure that your child is able to access their classes at home. And I think on that note, that's going to take us to questions. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing the presentation just so that all of us can more easily see the chat and the questions that are there.
So there's one question in the chat that asks about when schools return. It says in the news yesterday, they said that San Diego has a chance to come off the list to keep on reopening and send students back to school as soon as August 31st. Once schools go back to normal to in-person classes, what is your protocol if a child has a cough or a fever in class? How will the schools handle that situation?
Susan, do you want me to take that one?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, Jill Anderson is leading the health and safety, all the protocols, and has been working very, very closely with our health technicians. So yes, thank you, Jill.
Yeah, so we are in constant communication both with the County Office of Education and with our county health department, the Health and Human Services Agency, and they are providing flow charts of exactly what to do in this situation. Everything from doing screening and symptom checks in the morning for staff and students before they come onto campus, to what happens if a child has a cough in class. They will be removed from class and sent to our health technician, who will assess them. We'll get in touch with the parents. And then there is protocol from the county office, depending on the symptoms, of how long that child would need to stay out of school. If it's just symptoms, when they can come back to school. And as well, there is protocol in place if a child does have a positive COVID test, of how long they need to stay out of school. And then we would be working with the county health tracers to determine if there's anyone else that needs to be put into what the county is considering a quarantine for having come in contact with that student. But those are protocols that are being provided for us by the county health department that we will be following at O'Farrell.
And then we had a couple other questions in the chat that were specific to high school and elementary school, and Brian and I have answered those in the chat. But if anybody had a question that they have not put in the chat yet, or you need further explanation on those, please feel free to continue to put those questions in.
High school will also be doing an additional parent night. We emailed and dialed out about that Monday night. So Monday night at 6 o'clock, the link will be on the website on Monday. So you can click that and zoom in and watch that presentation Monday night. The following week, we'll be doing another live interaction meeting with parents that would like to join us. So we're going to have the next 2 Monday nights. We'll be also having time with parents.
And I know this wasn't a middle school question, but middle school is doing the same thing. On Wednesday, you'll receive, or this week, you'll receive a Zoom link for Wednesday, and we'll have a Zoom session open for basically very similar to this, just questions and answers for you to pop in and get your questions answered. And then once our classes get going, we'll be doing some parent sessions to provide you with the support you need to help your child getting logged into Schoology in their classes.
We have a question in the chat that asks, when we do get the green light to reopen, are we going to have a 1 or 2 week advance notice so that we can prepare and adjust our childcare needs?
So we will be monitoring the requirements that are provided by the state. Is that at this point, San Diego has 3 days below that threshold that was keeping us on the watch list, and then that has to stay in place for 14 days. So I think if we get through those 14 days, we'll continue monitoring that. And then absolutely, we would be discussing that as an administrative team, because not only parents needing to make arrangements for childcare and shifting schedules, but same for our staff, our teachers and our support staff being able to adjust where they are. We also want to make sure that we give us a chance to get distance learning rolled out, and that we all get settled with the start of the, like, right now, let's just get logged into Schoology, and we're going to continue monitoring all of those things. But yes, we would absolutely make sure that you have enough time to adjust schedules before we reopen campus.
And Anne, can I have you, I'm just thinking for the parents that might not be able to view the chat or have an opportunity, can you go ahead and just read the questions out? I know there's one about high school and home base. just so at least they can verbally hear the question and answers?
Yes, the question about high school was, for high school, how are we going to know who their home base is?
And so, as I answered there, the students picked up their schedules when they picked up books and materials, and on there it has their home base. And so I would imagine your student is probably going into the 9th grade. And if, in any case, that it's on that schedule, if they miss those pickup days, they can come Monday or Tuesday from 1 o'clock to 3:30, head to the library with your mask and social distance, and they can pick up their schedule and any books and supplies that we have for them. So they can do that, and on there will be their home-based teacher.
And then there was a question about elementary school. When will we hear from elementary school teachers? We know that in the elementary school, your primary contact is your child's teacher. They're your go-to. And so elementary school teachers are going to be emailing parents on Monday, August 17th, a personal message regarding what the first day of school will look like. And in that email will be a link to Schoology, where students will click on to access their courses. This link will also be on our website as well. And then it will have a link on there so you can log in and make sure that that first day of school, you know exactly where to go. We did a parent meeting last week as well. It was a fantastic turnout. We had about 200 parents log in, and we're really happy to have had that opportunity to explain the process to them. And then if you don't receive that email from your teacher, or there are any questions and you need to follow up, please contact us and we are happy to help. There's another question in the chat that says, school starts Monday for high school. Where do they go on the website?
I'm sorry, there's a chat that says, sorry, I'm trying to read it. What does it say?
School starts Monday for high school. Where do they go on the website?
School starts Monday. No, so school starts on Wednesday for high school, same as elementary and middle school.
Yeah, school starts on the 19th.
Yeah, so we'll have an email that will go out to your student. We will also be contacting parents so that they can log into Schoology and head into that first class. So we'll be sending that information out next week.
Another question in the chat asks, in regards to protocols for students who are sick when they're at school, will the school send students to a facility to take a COVID-19 test, or will the school wait for the parents to pick them up and take them to a testing site themselves?
So the school will not be determining if a student needs a COVID test. We will be looking at the list of symptoms that we are provided from the county, and if anyone has any of those symptoms that are listed there, they are not allowed to be in their classes. So we would be contacting the parents, and it will be up to you as a parent to work with the child's pediatrician to determine if the pediatrician feels they need a COVID test, or if you, the parent, feel if they need the COVID test. We absolutely can provide parents with information on the county testing sites. If that's something you want, we will have that for you, but we will not be, the school will not be requiring a student to receive a COVID test. We will just be following the protocol of, if a child has this symptom, they have to stay out of school for this many days.
And next question that says, if we are new to O'Farrell, will we get a separate email with our new Gmail address? Thank you. And speaking for the elementary school, we, just like the middle school and the high school, have materials checkout days where students will come. Actually, ours is drive-through, so you're not going to come on campus, but you'll drive through campus to pick up your Chromebook and your headphones and all of the class materials that you're going to need. And along with that, your Gmail address and Gmail password. If you do not come on one of those pickup days, then we will contact you with that information via email. And so for the middle school, Jill, Ms. Anderson, you already said when your pickup days were?
Yes, so we've had supply pickup days. Those were just for school supplies though. We do have an additional supply pickup day this Tuesday from 1:30 to 3:30 in the front parking lot. And that's if your child needs pens, pencils. We've got a little dry erase board in there with dry erase markers, some notebooks, supplies to help them be more successful with their schoolwork. In regards to the Gmail accounts for new students, those home-based teachers emailed those to the parent contact this week. And then on Monday and Tuesday, if we have not received a response confirming that you have received that email, we will be calling to make sure that you have your child's email address and login. because that is, like I said, what students will be using to log into Schoology.
And in the elementary school, we were handing those out during those material pickup days. I don't know if I mentioned the dates and times. It's August 17th from 12:30 to 5:30 and August 18th from 8:30 to 1:30 in O'Farrell's back parking lot. So we sent emails out about that. It's also on our website. And then I know the high school was doing materials pickup as well, but the question would be, how do students know their Gmail password in high school?
So for high school, it's the same Gmail that they had last year. So if they were in 8th grade at O'Farrell and now they're in 9th grade, it's going to be their same Gmail, school email.
Another question in the chat that asks, if the school does reopen, will students still be able to continue online instead of attending in person? And the answer to that is yes, that is going to be an option that we will offer for parents who elect into that only online program.
And that applies to all 3 schools, elementary, middle, and high school. We'll have that option for all of us, for parents that would like to just stay with distance learning, absolutely.
Yeah, and I would like to also just address it. We only have about 3 minutes, and these are really great questions. And so if there is another question, please ask, but I do know that we're gonna get kicked out in probably about 3 minutes. And I don't want, if all of a sudden we go away, I don't want anyone to think what happened. So let's continue to answer questions, but I also really want to make sure that families are really paying attention to the websites, and as the principals have stated, that you guys are receiving emails regularly updating you on this information. So and continue to check out the website for your specific school.
And to follow up on that too, if you are not receiving those email updates, then please contact us, because that means we need an updated email from you. We do have emails in our system, and we're continuing updating those as we go. So please stay in contact with us if your contact information ever changes. There's one more question in the chat that says, will the school reopen soon?
So we are bound by the guidelines from the county and the state. So right now, San Diego is still officially on the state watch list. Even though our data dropped the last few days, the state has not removed us from the watch list. And once we are removed from the watch list, there is a waiting period that we have to go through where the state will monitor the county data to ensure that that level of community spread is not going back up. If the data stays the way that the state and the county would like to see it and it continues to decline, then schools will be given the green light from the county health department to be able to reopen. And at that point, similar to the question the other parent had asked earlier, at that point we will be creating some plans and communicating with parents to make sure that all of our parents have enough time to plan for all of us to shift for the school to reopen. But right now we are still not allowed to have in-person sessions based on the level of community spread in San Diego.
Another question in the chat says, if schools do reopen, what measures will you take to ensure student safety?
We, again, working with the county health department, there are guidelines that have been provided for us that all schools are required to follow. And those include things like symptom screening for all staff and students when they arrive on campus in the morning. All of our student desks will be 6 feet apart. We have mask requirements. All staff are required to wear masks. And as you heard Dr. Weber sharing, there's a strong recommendation that all students in all grade levels, but definitely higher than, I believe it's 2nd grade, are required to wear masks. And then we will be increasing we've already increased the level of cleaning and sanitizing that takes place on campus, but there will be protocol in place for cleaning if, for example, in the high school, when students shift classes, cleaning will take place on the desks in each of those areas before another student comes in, and all of those things will be in place. And I see the other question here about the ratio of students to teacher on the middle school and in the elementary and high school. That's really dependent upon how many students we can fit in a classroom and make sure that we're able to maintain that safe 6 foot of distance. So it varies slightly within each classroom, but I think anywhere between like 9 and maybe 12 is I think our average classroom size.
Right. Another question coming in, should Schoology be already downloaded to the Chromebook we received from the school?
So Schoology is internet-based. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. It's o'farrell.schoology.com. Dr. Matthews, if you can make sure that I have this right. O'Farrell.schoology.com. But students will, that is connected to their school Gmail. And so they will log into that. It's a website that they will go to. So it's not something that needs to be downloaded onto a Chromebook. And then students will log in with their O'Farrell email.
It's very simple. It's a fantastic way for students to get on. It's not complicated at all. They go to that link right there, that website, and they're using their Gmail to get in, and they're done. They're inside school.
Yep.
Okay, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I'm afraid that the behind the scenes is going to kick us out, and I would like to send a proper goodbye before we all just disappear. I really want to say thank you so much for all of these parents. I'm seeing screens full of parents that have attended, so I'm very impressed. I'm proud that you all have participated. This is really important. And I want to give a tremendous thank you to the 3 principals for being here on your Saturday afternoon. So thank you so much, Ann Matthews, Jill Anderson, Brian Rainey. Teamwork. We got this. O'Farrell is going to rock it in 3 days on Wednesday, August 19th, or 4 days.
We are ready. And if you have trouble getting in, we'll be ready to help you. So don't worry about that piece.
Yeah. We'll get everybody in.
Mm-hmm. It'll be a great school year.
Have a really great Saturday, everybody. Enjoy the weather. Stay cool.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.